It's another big year for the Go-Go Boys. It's 1986. So the first film we'll look at today is Shalom, released on August 14th, 1986 in Italy. It's a religious tale that was updated to World War II settings.
Princess Salome, the pride of our empire.
She fell in love with a dying prophet.
Kill him.
Whose death created an empire.
Power is about to change hands.
She performed the dance of death for the promise of one wish.
What do you want?
I want the life of the prophet.
Salome, the passion of an ancient kingdom comes alive. Salome.
This film is Camorra, a story of streets, women and crime, released in Italy on January 24th, 1986. The story of a mysterious serial killer is targeting drug dealers in Napoli, stabbing them in the nuts with his hypodermic needle.
In Naples, the syndicate is called Camorra. For them, it's beyond question and above the law. No one has ever challenged them. Until now. Now, someone's declared war on the Camorra with a series of bizarre murders.
That's the third one in 24 hours.
And for the first time, the Camorra can't strike back. Someone who knows where they hide, who they love, and when they kill. Someone who knows the only way to stop the Camorra is to destroy them. One woman finds herself trapped in a brutal struggle between sides.
I've always loved you.
A witness.
I'm the only one who could have seen something.
A suspect.
Nunziata, you look for trouble.
A victim.
When he finds out you're still alive, he will be right back.
Loved by the man who could be the killer.
You're still in love with me. Nothing you can do about it.
I hate you.
So, let's make hate.
From director Lena Wertmüller comes an extraordinary story of murder.
No one is going to sleep tonight!
Revenge.
I never killed anybody!
And power.
We're out of it!
No.
Angela Molina. Harvey Keitel. Francisco Rabal. Camorra.
Also released in 1986, but not globally, was $1 Million Madness, which is a comedy about a man who accidentally finds himself in a sanitarium.
Charlie's having a bad day. He took the wrong taxi and wound up in a loony bin.
There's been some kind of mistake. What are you writing down now?
My diagnosis about the sexual tendencies of my patient.
It's a madhouse where patients expose their needs, express their feelings, and extend their talents.
That's what I call a blowjob.
But Charlie discovers the patient's operation is money.
Incredible. And who made him? Bunch of loony.
But when word gets out, everyone wants in. Catch the action. And try to figure out who's nuts and who's not in $1 Million Madness.
The Delta Force was released on February 14th, 1986 in the United States. After a plane is hijacked by terrorists, the Delta Force is sent in to resolve the crisis.
America's elite anti-terrorist commandos. Their only mission, to neutralize the enemy. Starring Chuck Norris.
Sleep tight, sucker.
And Lee Marvin. The Delta Force.
This is a hijack! Heads down! This is a hand grenade!
Because the stakes are more than pride.
Daddy! Heads down!
More than honor.
Please, no!
More than justice.
Collect all passports.
Why?
Do it!
Because they're fighting to save American lives.
No!
You take one of us, you gotta take us all.
It's a new age of terror that requires a new breed of warrior. The Delta Force.
1 minute to showtime.
We're members of Delta Force and we're here to take you home.
The Delta Force. Starring Chuck Norris. And Lee Marvin.
American, I want to negotiate. Do you hear me, American?
Loud and clear.
America's new heroes. The Delta Force.
Link was released on September 19th, 1986 in the United States. When a female zoology student is invited to a remote seaside mansion to assist a professor with his experiments involving chimpanzees, dangerous events start to occur.
For centuries, the link between man and the primates has been shrouded in darkness, surrounded by mystery.
Dr. Phillip is expecting me.
Now, one man has closed the gap,
Well, he's a different kind of intelligence.
forged the link.
It's different, all right.
And discovered what has always been missing.
Don't get involved in their squabbles. They sort them out.
Link, what happened in here?
Always forgive them, whatever they do. Don't ever let anything escalate.
You right?
They killed Dennis.
Link, I said stop hunting! Open the door now! Gotta outthink him.
How?
Link. Man is no longer in control.
The Naked Cage was released on March 7th, 1986 in the United States. A young woman wrongly convicted of bank robbery is sent to a prison run by a corrupt warden. She struggles to survive the harsh prison life.
If there is a hell on Earth, it's inside these walls.
God, everything keeps getting worse and worse, and I haven't even done anything!
Where the only dreams are nightmares. And the only escape is death.
You've just lost your protection.
Michelle is a desperate angel, taking a one-way trip through a living hell.
Because of your lies, I gotta spend 3 years in this stinking hellhole.
But even good girls grow up fast in the naked cage.
I want 5 minutes alone with Michelle.
You'll get your 5 minutes.
There's nowhere to run, no place to hide. Once the iron bars trap you inside.
After everything you've done to me, you don't think I have the guts to kill you?
The naked cage.
Field of Honor was released on January 9th, 1987 in the United States. After a Chinese attack, a Dutch mercenary sergeant is left alone by his army. While trying to survive, he meets a woman who has attempted to save her little brother. The image of the boy in shock changes him.
Korea, 1951.
Why are you here? Quite simple, sir. I don't know any better.
They were soldiers about to go home when the fortunes of war
Chinese! They're breaking through! Breakthrough!
turned against them.
Every man for himself!
Left for dead, one man faces the ultimate challenge: survival. And makes the ultimate discovery.
We see. No speaky, nothing.
In the field of death,
You're here because I took you.
a man of war
So I tried to take you back.
finds a reason for life.
Afraid.
Did you goddamn think I'd left? If I weren't such a Lulu, I'd do it.
Canon Films presents a true story of one man's triumph. Everett McGill, Field of Honor.
America 3000 was released in April 1986 in the United States. In a post-apocalyptic wasteland where a tribe of women rule and all men are either ferals or slaves, one man rises up to free the men. Can they coexist in peace, or will they die in war?
The following new films, which will soon be available from your local stockist, are brought to you by MGM UA Home Video, one of the leaders in home entertainment.
It is 900 years after the Great Nuke, and the roles of women have changed dramatically, much to the displeasure of men and mutants. For it's a new kind of war being fought, with a certain kick to it. America 3000. Meet Corvus. He's a scholar. He's a spy. He's a man who falls back into the 20th century and lands the most important job in America.
Mr. President.
Mr. President? The President!
Me for president.
Meet Vina, the virginal queen of the Thunder Warriors. It is up to Corvus and Vina to bring a little civilization back into the world.
What's it, man?
Feel. I'm a man.
Corvus and Vina.
Oh my.
Two lovebirds out to prove that love is the only thing worth nuking for.
What a day.
America 3000, an outrageous post-nuke adventure.
POW The Escape, or Attack Force Nam, was released on April 4th, 1986 in the United States. Colonel Cooper leads a group of American POWs battling their way to freedom as Saigon falls to the Viet Cong.
Vietnam, 1972. Colonel James Cooper has vowed to free the prisoners left behind.
Everybody goes home.
Captain Vin is determined to keep them.
They stay here.
Two men in a no man's land, playing a game of trust and betrayal.
We
gotta get those guys out of there, and you know it.
David Carradine goes behind enemy lines, where the final stakes are American lives.
Everybody goes home is a slogan.
Speak for yourself.
David Carradine, the prisoner they couldn't hold, is now the soldier they can't stop. POW, The Escape.
Murphy's Law was released in the United States on April 18th, 1986. Framed for his ex-wife's murder by a parolee he once put behind bars, Los Angeles cop Jack Murphy escapes from custody to capture the killer, but now he is handcuffed to a foul-mouthed thief.
Hey, that's my car!
Charles Bronson is Jack Murphy. He's a renegade cop.
Take it easy, Dick Tracy.
Stay away from me, I'll blow her head off!
For years, he's made his own rules.
I don't understand. Better get your act together, Jack.
But now, he's been set up.
You're under arrest, my guy.
The cops want him convicted.
Got a dozen witnesses. Ballistics identified your gun as the murder weapon.
The mob wants him dead.
Put the word on the street. $10,000. I want him.
And the only one who doesn't want him is handcuffed to him.
I heard they arrested a cop.
It's your pal Murphy. He's got a gun. He's got a hostage.
Now, they're both on the run.
When was the last time you flew one of these things?
1964.
Oh my God.
Both looking for answers.
Someone's framed me for 3 murders.
Murphy?
But Murphy will find justice if he has to break every law there is.
You remember what I told you?
Charles Bronson.
Don't mess with Jack Murphy.
Murphy's Law.
Roman Polanski's Pirates was released on July 18th, 1986 in the United States. The adventures of Pirate Captain Red and his first mate Frog.
Canon Films presents Walter Matthau in Roman Polanski's epic adventure about the most infamous, dreaded, and feared pirate of all time.
I am Thomas Bartholomew Red. Long live Captain Red!
He was the most daring buccaneer to sail the 7 seas. A master of surprise. A genius at escape.
His rightful place is on the scaffold!
He had royalty for breakfast, nobles for lunch, and leftovers for dinner.
Would you not prefer the head?
They say he ransomed a royal princess.
3,000? Insolent scoundrel!
It's known he plundered a priceless treasure.
The throne carries a curse.
From the director of Chinatown and Tess, Roman Polanski, comes a comedy spectacular.
Don't go back now! It's victory or death!
Walter Matthau in Roman Polanski's Pirates.
Cobra was released on May 23rd, 1986 in the United States. A tough-on-crime street cop must protect the only surviving witness to a strange, murderous cult with far-reaching plans.
His name's Cabretti. He's a cop, a specialist. He does the job nobody wants. The system says that even killers have rights. Cabretti's got his own system.
I ain't no psycho, man! I'm a hunter!
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Die!
from Mars was released on June 6, 1986 in the United States. A boy tries to stop aliens who have taken over his town and are attempting to brainwash its inhabitants.
They arrived without warning. They hid where no one would look.
Are you okay, Dad?
Everything's fine now.
They're after the one person on Earth who knows who they are. And what they've become. Invaders from Mars, rated PG.
Invaders from Mars starts Friday at a theater near you.
Lightning, the White Stallion, was released in August 1986 in the United States. A gambler's prize white stallion is abducted by predators, but his pickup breaks down on a school bus route, and the horse runs off.
I'm talking about something that really meant something.
He was a legend.
That horse, the stallion, the white stallion.
Canon Films presents a modern classic about a boy and a girl and a horse named Lightning.
Maybe Mr. Ingram might have information about a white stallion.
Good girl, well done.
Together they pursue a dream.
Whatever he wins, from now on you and I are partners.
A challenge.
Now don't worry about anything that's going on out there. Just pay attention to yourself and do your thing.
You got the best damn horse on this field. Now you go out there and show the crowd how you can ride him. You're a winner.
And together, they become champions. If you've ever dreamed of becoming a champion, you'll love Lightning, the White Stallion. Starring Mickey Rooney, Susan George, and Isabel Lorca in a story for all ages. Lightning, the White Stallion.
Detective School Dropouts, or Detective Detectives, was released in the United States on August 8, 1986. Two bumbling private detectives get themselves hired to find the missing person. They find themselves in the middle of a mob war when it turns out that the missing person is somebody the mob wants to stay missing.
Meet Donald Wilson. He's a smooth, straightforward guy whose dream is to become a detective.
You mean like guns and stuff?
Hang this up. Meet Paul Miller. He's a fast-talking high roller.
2 waters, please.
With a low-profile detective school.
I've been working my fingers to the bone for you.
The bone is a long way off. You all hear me out there?
And he's taking the entire class on an undercover mission.
Oh, you sure you know how to drive one of these things?
No, there's nothing to it. Just to give it a little gas and you'll let
It's a crash course in staying alive.
Ooh, we're in the Vatican. Have faith.
Because no textbook can help them now.
Forgive me, Father.
Okay.
You've got to help me. They're trying to kill me.
Lauren Dreyfus.
People are shooting at you. Can't you see that? And they may miss you and hit me.
And David Landsberg.
Oh, my mother was right. This was a stupid idea.
Two detectives without a clue.
If you really want to hit me, then you hit me, okay? Hey.
Detective School Dropouts.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 was released in the United States on August 22nd, 1986. A radio host is victimized by a cannibal family as a former Texas Marshal hunts them.
"13 years ago, audiences across America were horrified by the savagery of a faceless killer. In the wake of this bizarre rampage, he vanished. Now, after more than a decade of silence, he has come out of hiding. Jigsaw Massacre 2. The Buzz is back. Directed by Tobe Hooper.
Othello was released in the United States on September 12th, 1986. Verdi's famous opera is brought to life in this production, the immortal tale of a noble Moor and his beautiful young wife, and of his lieutenant, whose jealousy and lust for power lead him to commit the ultimate treason.
Franco Zeffirelli's Othello. A brilliant film, tremendously compelling, a great adventure. Gene Shalit, NBC TV. Spectacular star performances, heart-wrenching drama, and glorious voices. Judith Christ. Extravagant grand opera made easy. An accessible, overwhelmingly handsome movie version of a classic. A potent shot of cultural adrenaline. Bruce Williamson, Playboy. Even if you're not an opera fan, you'll be thrilled by the passion and beauty of this film. And if you are an opera fan, the film is a must. Bravo, Stuart Klein, WNEW-TV. Canon Films proudly presents Othello, starring Placido Domingo. Directed by acclaimed filmmaker Franco Zeffirelli. Giuseppe Verdi's soaring musical adaptation of Shakespeare's monumental tale. The deceit, the revenge, the triumph. Othello, the legendary Moor. His passion consumed his life. Starring Placido Domingo, Katia Ricciarelli, and Justino Diaz. In a Golan Globus production of Franco Zeffirelli's Othello.
Avenging Force, also known as Night Hunter, was released in the United States on September 12th, 1986. A senator is targeted by the Pentangle, a right-wing paramilitary group. His pal, a former CIA agent and martial artist, tries to help him. The group kidnaps the agent's sister and tries to hunt him down, the most dangerous game style.
It began with a celebration, shattered by brutal violence, until Michael Dudikoff, star of American Ninja, became the avenging force.
Unhappy. They missed. Gentlemen, Captain Manhunter, one of the best agents my department ever had.
He's the only one who can oppose a deadly brotherhood.
They have a hunting club.
A what?
A hunting club. Except they don't hunt animals. They hunt men.
Bring them down.
Now, in the ultimate form of pure savage combat, they are the hunters. And he is the target. In the final confrontation, the deadliest enemy meets the avenging force. Avenging Force. When getting even just isn't enough.
52 Pickup was released in the United States on November 7th, 1986. A secret extramarital fling between a successful Los Angeles construction magnate and his stripper mistress leads to three strangers blackmailing him for a six-figure sum, followed by burglary, theft, and her murder.
We have to have positive identification. We gotta get some strong evidence. But there's no way in the world, once the story breaks, that you're gonna keep it off the 6 o'clock news.
Harry Mitchell,
successful businessman, loving husband, a man who has now become the perfect target.
Sit down, sport.
Look, Mitch, you've seen some of this before. Stuff your girlfriend shot while your wife thought you were at a convention in Miami.
Mitch, you're in very serious trouble.
You pay us $105 grand a year for the rest of your life.
No!
They're ruthless.
Cops find a body with no clothes on, the gun, your prints all over it.
Desperate.
He got an airtight case against me. It's my gun.
I'm scared, Mitch.
The only thing they didn't count on was Mitch having a plan of his own.
I want to deal only with you.
How much did the man say he was going to give you?
I'm going to pay them $52,000.
I knew it. They're flying me out.
He's a murderer.
I'll meet you at 7th, Slick. On the button.
I'll be there.
Roy Scheider, Anne Margaret, and Vanity in John Frankenheimer's suspense thriller, 52 Pickup, from acclaimed novelist Elmore Leonard's gripping bestseller.
Castaway was released in the United States on September 11th, 1987. Middle-aged Gerald advertises in a London paper for a female companion to spend a year with him on a desert island.
Cannon Films presents the new film from acclaimed director Nicholas Roeg. Gerald Kingsland and Lucy Irvine, total strangers until she answered his ad.
Mr. Kingsland?
And made an extraordinary commitment.
Now make sure that we don't starve, Lucy.
To spend a year together, alone, in an island paradise.
Lucy!
Welcome to Chewing. They came to build their own world.
I believe in our future here, together.
What they discovered would be a greater challenge than either of them expected.
Hey, Lucy! Come on down! I promise you I'll teach you to tango, no?
Gerald, we need shelter, we need food!
What is that, eh? What is that?
Your anger. God, it frightens me. I mean, we're here on this island, alone.
Nothing's changed here. Nothing's changed except you. You changed.
To finish this year on chewing.
Show me where it is, not in the middle of a storm! Go on, show me!
Secret.
Lucy, don't go.
Oliver Reed and Amanda Donohoe in a Nicholas Roeg film based on the international bestseller Castaway, a true story of survival and self-discovery.
Firewalker was released in the United States on November 21st, 1986. A pair of adventurers try to track down an ancient Aztec, Mayan, Egyptian, Apache hoard of gold.
Turn left.
In the proud history of adventure,
I stand live! It's a desert, Leo. Watch if it doesn't mix.
no heroes ever have been more courageous.
What is that?
How the hell should I know?
Matt, shoot it!
More faithful.
You stupid AFJ.
More optimistic.
We keep sticking our necks out, and sooner or later somebody's gonna chop our heads off.
Than Max Donegan and Leo Porter.
We need a new plan.
No, their friendship faces its greatest challenge.
You're getting as bad as that fruitcake girl.
Fruitcake? Wow. I'm a fruitcake?
A woman of definite charms.
You see, I've recently acquired a map, and I'm convinced it leads to a great amount of gold.
and dangerous curiosity.
I thought priests were supposed to be teetotalers.
I thought nuns were supposed to be virgins.
But Leo and Max have foiled countless encounters with death.
I blame you for this.
We're not dead yet.
And they'd gladly run any risk.
If there's ever time for a plan, it's now, Max.
For the thrill of danger, the promise of excitement, and a mountain of treasure.
There's better be some gold up here. Get your blood. I'm coming.
Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett in Firewalker.
Sipping champagne in fine restaurants, gambling in casinos.
Man, I can't wait.
I don't remember inviting you.
Duet for One was released in the United States on February 1987. Her entire life crumbles, her career ends abruptly, her husband betrays her with another woman, and her favourite student decides to leave for the USA.
There are moments in life which can't be rehearsed.
This woman is the greatest violinist alive.
We're so lucky, really. Nothing can change what we have together. It's been like a dream in so many ways.
There are dreams from which you don't wake up.
I got the strangest feeling in my hands.
Like what?
As if it didn't belong to me. I mean, my mind was telling it to do one thing, but the fingers just wouldn't respond.
Let me give it to you straight, Miss Anderson. I think you are walking a very fine line.
I've never been able to believe the way you can play, but I just saw a piece of that die.
In other words, I'm finished. Is that what you're saying? Doctor, I want you to make it stop. I'm in my hands. Something else could go any day now. I don't know when. There's got to be some method, some trick. Otherwise, this concert, any concert, how could I possibly get up on stage? It'd be impossible.
There are times when talent counts less than courage.
Like it or not, but you had a glimpse of what most of us spend our whole lives avoiding.
I surprise you, but when I look at that wheelchair of hers, I'm terrified.
I've already lost my music. How can I live without my husband, too?
You didn't understand me, do you? I need you, Penny.
You must be a very unhappy woman.
I suppose you know that from having met so many before.
They mostly only get so unhappy when I leave, Stephanie.
You married me because I was famous, and who are you? You're nothing but a lazy, spoiled man.
If I am, you made me that way.
Don't you dare look at me with your pity. You like me being a cripple, don't you, Harry?
Still, but you're not a cripple anyway.
What's your favorite? Paraplegics?
That's it, isn't it, eh? And now you're tied to that damn wheelchair, and you can't stand it, and I'm not!
There are only two things we can do. Succumb to our fear, or confront it directly.
Stephanie Anderson turned hardship into challenge and adversity into an inspiring triumph. Julie Andrews, Alan Bates, Rupert Everett, and Max von Sydow star in a Golan Globus production of Andrei Konchalovsky's Duet for One.
Coming up in 1987 from Canon Films, Al Pacino in Investigation. Walter Matthau and Whoopi Goldberg were born yesterday. And Rocky director John G. Alverson's Guardian Angels. Comedy horror Rockula. Also next year, Second Life. Coming up, a promo of what's in store for Canon Films in 1986, and interviews with Manaim Golem.
Canon Films presents an outstanding lineup of films for 1986 and beyond. Major filmmakers, major stars, major motion pictures. Next, Sylvester Stallone hits the road in an 18-wheeler and heads out to become a world-class champion. This time, he's fighting with his bare hands and going over the top. Dustin Hoffman, the Academy Award-winning star of Kramer vs. Kramer and Tootsie, creates his most powerful portrayal as Joseph LaBrava, an ex-CIA agent trying to live in peace while the mob prepares for war in the streets of South Miami. From the hottest novelist in America, Elmore Leonard, Dustin Hoffman stars in La Brava. The legend continues. The hero returns. The new saga begins. Christopher Reeve is Superman in his biggest adventure yet. With more thrills, more action, more excitement than ever before. Christopher Reeve returns as Superman in Superman 4, his biggest adventure yet.
John Travolta. In Saturday Night Fever, he became an overnight sensation. In Grease, he became an international star. In Urban Cowboy, he changed the look of America. Now, Cannon Films proudly announces John Travolta in his most exciting project yet.
Within this unsuspecting city, history's greatest experiment creates tomorrow's greatest superhero. Spider-Man, the movie. A live-action spectacular directed by Joe Zito, based on the characters created by Stan Lee. What would you do if you witnessed a murder? Knew you would be next, and you were a 98-pound weakling? Who you gonna call? Who else? Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris in his first action comedy, Kick and Kick Back. A comedy with a kick. Harry Mitchell is a successful businessman. He's being blackmailed by a vicious porno underworld. But the mob is in for a surprise because Harry is fighting back. Starring Roy Scheider and Anne Margaret. In 52 Pickup. Written by Elmore Leonard. Directed by John Frankenheimer. From the master of suspense, Roman Polanski, the director who brought you the terror of Rosemary's Baby.
God is dead!
The Passion of Tess. The Mystery of Chinatown.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
Now brings you a spellbinding new film for Cannon. Fantasy characters that started it all. The biggest selling toy product ever created. The most successful TV cartoon series. Masters of the Universe. Now takes a giant leap forward into a live action motion picture. Starring the sensation of Rocky IV. Dolph Lundgren in the live action adventure Masters of the Universe. The fantasy becomes a reality. In a mysterious, sleepy town, hidden by the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, the ladies are keeping house and hiding a most extraordinary secret. Housekeeping, starring Diane Keaton. From Bill Forsyth, director of local hero, Housekeeping. Christopher Reeve is John Fisher, a reporter who needs a story and finds it in the seamy underworld of 42nd Street. Now murder has Fisher caught between the courts and the street. Christopher Reeve in the action thriller Street Smart, directed by Jerry Schatzberg. Acclaimed director Andrei Konchalovsky brings Tom Kempinski's electrifying masterpiece to the screen. Duet for One. Julie Andrews, Alan Bates, Max von Sydow in Duet for One.
Deep in an enchanted forest lives a wizard named Rumpelstiltskin. He knows the magic, sorcery, and the secret of the name. Rumpelstiltskin, a delightful live-action adventure starring Amy Irving and Trevor Howard. Rumpelstiltskin, the exciting first film from Cannon's Children's Movie Tales. Magical stories come to life.
Robert Carradine, a cop with a sense of humor. A taste for trouble. And a lead to the case that could take him off the beat permanently. Number one with a bullet. This hit list is for real.
Anthony Quinn recreates his greatest screen triumph as Zorba. From the smash Broadway musical, adapted from Nikos Kazantzaki's bestseller, Zorba, a man in love with life. Anthony Quinn in Zorba, the musical. Cannon Films presents a provocative new motion picture, The White Slave. Louis Gossett Jr. stars as the ex-cop who helps a young woman find her kidnapped sister in the sinister underworld of Istanbul, only to find she's been sold into slavery. Louis Gossett Jr., The White Slave. Screenplay by Sterling Siliphant.
It's a journey to a world you've always known, but a universe you've never seen, where the unfamiliar and the unimaginable lie waiting for discovery. It's an adventure of indescribable wonder, and it begins just below your feet. Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Directed by Rusty Lemarand.
10 years ago, audiences across America were horrified by the brutality of a faceless killer. Now, after a decade of silence, he has come out of hiding. Massacre 2.
He's learned the ancient ways. He's mastered the supreme martial arts. Now, he's ready to stop the largest underworld gamble ever devised. Michael Dudikoff returns as the American Ninja in American Ninja 2. America's favorite superhero explodes onto the screen, waging a war on today's criminals. Cannon Films presents a live-action version of Captain America, directed by Michael Winner. Tim Madden woke up with a gruesome hangover, bloodstains in his car, and a woman's corpse in his yard. He's looking for the truth, and the truth just might get him killed. Tough Guys Don't Dance, written and directed by acclaimed author Norman Mailer, based on his brutal bestseller. Francis Coppola and George Lucas present an exciting new film from the director of Koyaanisqatsi, an astonishing visual extravaganza. Now, director Godfrey Reggio brings his creative genius to
North, South. A dazzling look into two worlds touching. North, South. A struggle for mystery or mastery. North, South is the world in progress. North, South is the world we will shape. Godfrey Reggio, in collaboration with composer Philip Glass, bring you North, South. Presented by Francis Coppola and George Lucas. King Lear, Shakespeare's immortal classic, in a modern version by acclaimed author Norman Mailer. King Lear. From the premier director of France, Jean-Luc Godard, comes the timeless story of loyalty, corruption, and power. King Lear.
Hey, Joe.
In 1969, Joe told the world what he thought about the youth movement.
We're getting away with murder. Sex, drugs, pissing on America, fucking up the music.
Then, Joe became involved in it.
He just beat the world speed record.
Later that same year, Joe was convicted for the killing of 8 youths in upstate New York.
There's only one way out now. Clean. That means everybody.
Now, in 1985, Joe has been released from prison. The times have changed, but the man hasn't. Citizen Joe, he's back.
Meet Too Much, the most revolutionary robot ever built. Everyone wants it, but he has a mind of his own. Too Much, a high-tech fairy tale, starring Bridget Anderson.
The Dolly Dots. This female rock band wants to play in Hollywood, but the only gig around is playing nursemaid to a bratty kid whose parents don't know that hiring one Dolly Dot gets you 6. Canon Films presents Give a Girl a Break, starring David Landsberg and Lauren Dreyfus, and presenting the Dutch rock group, the Dolly Dots.
Mythical beasts, sorcerers, magical monsters, and warriors. Lou Ferrigno, in his greatest adventure, Sinbad of the Seven Seas.
Huge, green, and hot-tempered, he emerged from the depths of Lake Erie, eating everything in sight. He made you melt just being near him. It ate Cleveland, a man-eater, and a lady killer.
Alistair MacLean's classic novel of high adventure, River of Death. John Hamilton, soldier of fortune, on the mission of his life. He's discovered a legendary city and uncovered a war zone across the River of Death. Directed by J. Lee Thompson.
A wondrous African safari brings young Ben and his guardian Joe face to face with Bonzo, the mischievous orangutan. A special film of a magical friendship. Ben, Bonzo, and Big Bad Joe.
Starring Bud Spencer.
Canon Films, the company of the future.
This experience of the Delta Force, I think, would give Canon and me personally as a director some new scopes in America.
Well, I think, people, with all the publicity that Canon gets, that you get, people forget that you're a fine director, that Operation Thunderbolt is an extraordinary film. And
well, I did a few others. I don't know if you saw The Magician of Lublin, which is the first Bashevis singer, which I love to do. Another Bashevis singer. I did a musical called Casablanca in Israel. Highway Queen, about prostitution in Israel, believe it or not. The thing is that I'm a movie maker not just as a director. I love dealing with other directors, and the fact that I'm a director I give in canon to other directors. They feel happy to work with us because they feel that. Let me give you an example. When we came to Hollywood in '79 and started with Canon, the first thing we did, we gave above title titles to directors. Hollywood was not used to it. Even till now, it is always a Zanuck Brown production. It's not a John Frankenheimer film. It's a Zanuck Brown production, which means that the Hollywood system is that the producer makes the movie. He's the ruler, he's the king in the movie making, and he's the creator, which is not true. It's not true. He assembles the movie. The producer, as good as he is, he does not really create the movie. A movie is images put together and are telling a story or creating an emotion, and that is done by writers, directors, editors, cameramen, and actors. You understand? And even composers. Those are the creative people who make the movie. And I feel that in France, in Italy, in Europe, and in Israel, it was always like that. Money could not dictate. A budget could not dictate a creation of a movie. And I think Hollywood, over the years, became stale with the power that it gave to producers. Because the producers were the people who could assemble a big star, or could assemble a big project together, an important project, get a good director, etc. And they took the credit for the making of the movie. And when we came with Canon to Hollywood, we came from Europe, we came from Israel, we came from another kind of movie making world, and which means much bigger freedom, creative freedom to the movie makers. And that's why you will find that whether it is Altman, whether it is Andrei Konchalovsky or John Cassavetes, or you name them, they're all coming to us now. I mean, the top directors, Babenko just came to us and we're doing a deal with him. We signed Jerry Schatzberg. We are signing a 3-picture deal with Friedkin and and many others, and also the stars and the actors and the writers. They're coming to us because they are hungry for this freedom in Hollywood, and it helps us, I believe, to make some better movies.
This is a hijack! Heads down! Heads down! Everybody down! This is a hand grenade! We will blow the plane! Heads down! You do not go exactly as we say!
What we're doing now in the world, which I think is very unique, Canon, once it became powerful, and I mean powerful, it can dictate a selling of a movie to a distributor. That is the power that we have in foreign markets. We came to America to make American movies that could be sold to independent distributors around the world. Let me start really from the beginning. The beginning is that I was raised as a kid on American motion pictures. I was educated. I was Americanized by the cinema, by the American cinema. I lived in a little town called Tiberias. They came, we had a cinema. I was in this cinema every Saturday night. It was like a bread and butter for me. It was a rule. There was no Saturday night that I was not in the cinema. And then on a Wednesday afternoon when we had the matinee, I was there. And of course, if a movie even didn't reach the Saturday night and it came on a Tuesday, I was there. And it was in 99% of the cases, it could not have been but an American movie. Why? The major company system, with the stars of Hollywood, with the feeling that they are giving to the people of the world another kind of life, to get them out of their dreary lives that the century gave us. The cinema was practically controlled by those major companies. And I was educated through my youth, like any other kid, in millions of little towns, in millions of little cinemas, by living the American life. I say that America became an empire due to motion pictures.
We are Americans. Stay down! Clear! Clear! Clear!
And when we came to America, we said to ourselves, that's the way that we can build our place in the cinema of the world, which means make an American movie with production values, with a good story, with, call it star system, be involved with the quality film creators of America, and bring it to the world, not via the major companies. Create your own system, sell it to the independent. And all of a sudden, when we came to Cannes, you saw a line of distributors getting a number, like in a barber shop, to meet YouRun and me. We became popular there because we brought to them what they could never get. They could never get a good commercial American film to compete for a Saturday night date in their own country. Once we had that power, we could have, be swallowed by Hollywood and became like anybody else. But what we tried to watch, we didn't want that. We brought Europe with us to Hollywood. Creativity, a feeling of doing something better. And then, when Taiwan wanted to buy our Death Wish 3, or Death Wish 2, or The First Ninja, or a kind of an action picture coming from Hollywood, a country like Taiwan, or a country like the Philippines, etc., we say to the local distributor, sorry man, you have to take John Cassavetes first, or you don't get Charles Bronson. And we started to sell tomatoes with, cucumbers, as well as peaches. We sold them in packages, and we forced the first Cassavetes screening in Taiwan. Never before live streams, never Cassavetes could not get a screen. He could not even be talked about in that country because all you saw in the cinema there was martial art movies. So how can you expect kids in Taiwan to see a little more intelligent film, something better, something with more aspirations, intellectual? But they do have universities, they do have students, you do have people who are studying and are eager to see something better, something new. Except that those new films could not get to their cinemas. The distributors were scared. So we forced it. We gave it practically for nothing. And now you know that in Taiwan, they have to see an Altman movie. They have to see Zeffirelli. They will see an opera Othello, because otherwise they are not going to get Charlie Bronson.
Biggies in Cannes, wall to wall. There are a couple of Israelis here who would probably steal their thunder and sell it back to them at a profit. Golan and Globus may sound like a couple of Middle East cities, but they are actually the Israeli cousins who own and operate the vast Cannon Group, a veritable movie-making machine. Affectionately and disparagingly known as the Go-Go Boys, they come as close to old-time movie moguls as anyone in the business. They now have 3 serious films in the festival competition, but there was a time when Hollywood dismissed their work as exploitive schlock.
People have learned to know us. We are professional, we are true to ourselves and to the industry, and we are really lovers of motion pictures.
Everywhere you look, Menachem, in Cannes, you see Cannon Group pictures, everything. How much money do you estimate that you've spent on promotion here at this festival?
Over $1 million.
You feel it's a star's responsibility to get out and promote the film, don't you?
I don't like those stars who sort of shine away from, from being on Entertainment Tonight. Or every time a star sees an ad in a newspaper with his photograph, or the way his letters and where his name is, I mean, we encounter some problems, as you know very well, with some of the stars. I think that all of them needs a very good psychiatrist.
I read somewhere where you suggested that most of the Hollywood filmmakers spend too much time on the tennis court.
No doubt about that, and has too many parties with too many this kind of cigarettes, if you know what I mean.
Many in Hollywood return the disaffection. Grumbling is often heard about unpaid bills. But such is Cannon's power now to draw big names and turn big profits, few will publicly challenge its operating procedures. You play hardball, not tennis.
We don't play hardball. We love what we're doing, we enjoy it, it's not hardball. We protect our pictures as our babies. We have to protect them,
Where is Cannon going? Where's it all going to end? What do you conniving cousins want?
Always the next movie.